Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Halimah. I will be your teacher for the subject called Theory of Translation. Now, the points we are going to cover in this introductory session are as follows. We will go through the learning outcomes, number one. Number two, the course syllabus, and then the objectives of the course, and the teaching methods we will be using with you, and the materials we will be using, and then we'll go through the lecture schedule, and we will give you some idea about the course assessment, and then the importance of attendance in this course. Now, if we could look at the slides together, as you can see, the title of this particular session is an orientation, it's an introduction to the course. Now, for every lecture, there should be some learning outcomes, so that you can judge yourself whether you have learned something out of the lecture or not. Now, the learning outcomes of this particular introductory session is as follows. Now, you should ask yourself, by the end of this lecture, you should be familiar with the course content, you should be familiar with the objectives and teaching methods, you should be aware of the materials to be used, you should be aware of the main topics to be covered in this course, you should be aware of the assessment criteria we will be using in this course, and then you should be aware of the importance of attendance. These are the learning outcomes of this particular session. Now, the course syllabus. Look at the course syllabus. What kind of content we will be covering in this course? The course generally introduces the main approaches to the theory and practice in translation. Not only that, it also covers the linguistic and the socio-cultural and the psychological and hermeneutic theories of translation. So you will have a large coverage of theories in this particular course. It briefly treats the rising field of translation studies. In particular, machine translation and computer-aided translation. And last but not least, the course will also provide a coverage of methodological issues and techniques relevant to the practical courses that follow. So this is the syllabus of the course. Now, what are the objectives of the course? For every course, there should be some kind of objectives so that we can achieve them by the end of the course. Now, the objectives of this particular course, Theory of Translation, are as follows. To demonstrate knowledge of the theoretical dimensions of translation, to show knowledge of sense relationship between theory and practice in translation, to show knowledge of recent advances in translation studies and machine translation. And the last objective of this course is to discuss and compare different models of translation theory, showing their practical implications. These are the main objectives of this particular course, Theory of Translation. Now, we move to the teaching methods. How we are going to teach this course. As you can see, we will be using recorded lectures. We will be using live interactive lectures. We will be giving you questions for discussion. And we will be using homework. In other words, you will have some kind of homework to do as well. So these are the methods we will be using when we are teaching this course. Now, the materials which we will be using when we are giving you these lectures, there are tens of books written on theory of translations. So many books. But what we have tried to do is to select from main books on theory and translation to give you a general idea about the theory and the practice of translation. Now, the main book is Roger Bell, 1991, is called Translation and Translating, Theory and Practice. The second book is for Al-Shababi Omar, 1996, Interpretation and the Language of Translation, Creativity Convention in Translation. Peter Newmark is a well-known theorist and practitioner in translation, a textbook of translation. But we have selected only 2 chapters, chapter 5 and chapter 9. Then we will be using 2 chapters from Muna Baker and Gabriele Labaldana. Routledge Encyclopedia of Translation Studies. It's a huge book, but it is a collection of articles. We have selected 2 articles. One on computer-aided translation and another on machine translation. Last but not least, Halimah, introduction, a short introduction to Arabic-English translation. I wrote this introduction in the 80s. I have included 2 chapters of it. It is a simple introduction, and I would recommend that you start the course with it, if it is available on the online. Now, regarding this material, you will see them scanned online. So not to worry about where to get them, because we will make sure that they are available to you. Now, the lecture schedule. As you can see, we are hoping to cover all these points according to this schedule. This introductory session is 0. It's not counted, but it is very important. Lecture number 1 is going to be called What is Translation? Lecture number 2 is going to be called What is a Translator? Lecture number 3, What is Translation Theory? Lecture number 4, Elements of Translation. Lecture number 5, The Process of Translation. Lecture number 6, Methods of Translation. Lecture number 7, Translation and Culture. Lecture number 8, A Short Introduction to Arabic-English Translation. Lecture number 9, Translation versus Interpretation, or Interpreting. Lecture number 10, Computer-Aided Translation and Machine Translation. Lecture number 11, Linguistic Problems in Arabic-English Translation. Lecture number 12, Cultural Problems in Arabic-English Translation, Part 1. And lecture number 13, Cultural Problems in Arabic-English Translation, Part 2. And then lecture number 4 will be a kind of review of the whole course. So these are the lectures we are hoping to cover in this program. Now we move to what may concern you a lot. It is about the course assessment. How is this course going to be assessed? Now what I can say in this particular moment is as follows. The final allocation of points will be according to the following scale. Now, your participation on the blackboard will be given 10 points. Your attendance of recorded and live lectures will be given 10 points. The homework we give to you and you do will be given 10 points. So this is 30. And then the final exam will be allocated 70 points. In total, 100 points. So these are the criteria, or the scale, the assessment scale we will be using to assess your performance in this course. Regarding attendance, attendance is very, very important. So you are really expected to attend and participate in live sessions and watch and listen to recorded sessions, of course. However, the live sessions will be recorded and be available to the students who miss them. If you are not able to attend the live sessions, we will make them available to you. Okay? Now, regarding my email address is mentioned here, as you can see. As for the office hours, as soon as I know the timing of my office hours and the telephone number, I will let you know. So this is a very short introduction to the course, and I hope you refer to it whenever you feel like it, and I wish you all the best in this course. Thank you very much.